Welcome, Softball 605, and this week's On the Diamond. I'm here with
Sandy Delker-Holbert,
Carol McKee,
and I'm Travis Lape, and we're bringing you news from Sioux Falls, but it's news across the state about softball that's happening. And so we'll bring a report this first segment really about tournaments that happened out in Rapid as well as in Brandon, Sioux Falls, and then we also had a tournament that was happening across the border that a few of our teams went to. So we'll get started with that a little bit. Carol, what's some news that you have for our Softball 605 fans?
Let's talk a little bit about youth fast pitch first.
Okay.
That is pretty much the biggest area with tournaments happening. The Brandon Junior Olympic Fast Pitch Tournament was at Aspen Park Complex this past weekend. They had 10U through 18U divisions, and I know you guys were getting some of the results. Beth was helping us get a few results. Were we able to find any of those?
Not for the Brandon one.
I've got some for the Brandon,
Okay.
only because some of my Diamonds teams were there.
Great.
In the 18U division, Team Edge, Diamonds 18U Edge, beat out Watertown for the championship in the 18U division. In the 14U division, South Dakota Extreme, Monica Strasser's team, won the 14U division. And Blast, Diamonds team, was the 12U winner. And Diamonds Heat was the runner-up in that division.
So you had Diamonds against Diamonds?
Yeah, we have that quite often.
Yeah.
Yep, unfortunately. So that is what I have got on Brandon.
You know, it's always difficult on Mondays and Tuesdays trying to gather up these results because there really aren't a lot of them posted out there.
Not by Monday morning.
We're really hoping that people can email us. They can email to me, Carol, at softball605.com with those results. But we really want to share those results.
Right.
And there was one tournament I'm looking forward to talking about that I found all the results quite quickly, quite easily. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. There was another tournament that happened out in the hills.
Yep.
The Sturgis Girls Fast Pitch Invitational Tournament was at Sturgis Complex this last weekend with 10U through 16U divisions. Again, we apologize. We're not able to locate any results for that tournament. But if you can get those to us, we'd be happy to share them on Facebook or anywhere else we can put them up so that people can find them. People that, you always want to know who won.
Right.
Right.
And who was playing in the tournament. But if you're not there, you usually can't find out.
Yeah.
The Tana Kingsbury Tan Dog Memorial Softball Tournament was at Cadwell Park in Mitchell this past weekend. 10U through 18U divisions, and I think Beth was getting us some results, a few results there. Did you guys get those?
Let's see here.
Flash.
I wrote them down. Let's see. Oh, yep. In the 18U division, it looks like South Dakota Flash beat South Dakota Stomp.
Okay.
In the 14U division, Mitchell Adrenaline played Parkston, and Parkston came out on top for that game. And in the 12U division, the Mitchell Sparks prevailed over Venom for the championship.
Correction, that's the Hartford Sparks.
Hartford Sparks.
Hartford Sparks.
Yep, over the Mitchell Venom.
Over the Mitchell Venom. Okay.
And that tournament's kind of a neat tournament. If you're on Facebook or following kind of the Mitchell Fast Pitch over there, I believe it was Saturday night, they had a big celebration because this was in honor of this athlete who lost her life.
Tana Kingsbury?
Yep. And so it was really cool because they had a dance party, they had inflatables, they had really just a celebration of her life. They had a launching of balloons, yellow balloons,
cool.
and it was a neat deal. And the Facebook videos and everything that's out there are just incredible of what, we play this great game and we get this opportunity to play the game, but we kind of sometimes forget about, some of the kids or the athletes that have played the game that are no longer with us. And so it was a really neat tribute and memorial for them, and her parents were there to hand out awards.
Oh, wonderful.
And so it was just a great weekend to celebrate this young athlete's life that was lost.
And Tana was a softball player, loved the game.
Yep.
I wasn't feeling well, went in for a doctor's appointment, check up to see what was going on, and they discovered cancer in one of her ribs, and it just went from there, and she fought the good fight for a long time. And
Do you know how old she was?
I think, was she 16? I think she was 15 when
that's a sad story.
It's hard.
But what a wonderful celebration of her life.
Right.
For her parents to remember all the good things.
Commemorate that, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the one girls youth fast pitch tournament that I was able to find results for quite readily this weekend was the Sioux Empire Fast Pitch Softball Association Memorial Tournament here at Sherman Park this past weekend.
Yeah.
We were out of town at our son's wedding, but you were here in full force, Travis, and you were doing some great things.
It was incredible. We partnered with Softball 605, and I think tournaments out there really need to know the ease of this. Softball 605 was able to set us up with a website, and it was able to be a mobile app right on their phones, and we were able to keep our fans and our coaches up to date very easily throughout the tournament. It was a great experience for us to have that mobile device available for them. But we had some great games too. We started Friday night, and we had 2 rounds Friday night out here. Our one field, we were all done. We thought we were going to escape having to turn on the lights, except our one field, our 12UB division, the Fusion rookies against the Sioux Falls Whiplash. They were battling back and forth Friday night. It was a tied 1-1 ball game.
Oh, wow.
Then it ended up being a 2-2 and a 3-3, and they got through the 7th inning, and time expires, and we're tied 3-3. So now they have to play at 1 inning of international rule. And Fusion rookies was able to scratch a run across, and so Fusion rookies won the first pool play game 4-3.
Wow.
But it was a great
game.
it was fun to watch. You know, the 12Us don't typically get to play under lights, and so for about 40 minutes they were under the lights getting to play, and it was just a fun experience for them.
What they needed to do to be able to play under the lights.
They
right?
did. They
now,
did.
International rules. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
Went an extra inning. What was that about?
So in softball, we if we're tied after time expires or 7 innings, international rule sticks the last out of the inning at second base.
Okay.
And so you start a runner at second, and then you play your normal inning. So 3 outs, and you just play it. And so strategy there is you usually typically will bunt her to third, and then hopefully get a pass ball or a base hit to score her. And so typically the first run is usually the tying run because both teams started at second. If you can get 2 runs in that inning, that's where you really put yourself in a good position to win the international rule.
Wow. Well, that sounds interesting.
And then Saturday we moved into still pool play and had a great day for Saturday. Weather looked iffy all day. We didn't know what was going to happen. And we got to probably about 7:20, and we started feeling like we had to make some decisions at that point to figure out where we were. We got a little bit behind. Running 80-minute games on an hour-and-a-half schedule, you're going to end up getting behind because if a game goes long, or just changing out umpires, it's just bound to happen. And so we were about 40 minutes behind. So 7:20, we were just starting roughly our 6:30 round, and we still had one 8 o'clock round to go. So at 7:20, we called the National Weather Service, asked what was happening. They told us within 20 minutes we would see the first strike of lightning, and so we let them play for another 10 minutes. And then we blew the horn, and sure enough, in that 20 minutes, we saw the first strike. And so the National Weather Service was great to us all weekend, just giving us really time-specific times that we could use to really make the best judgment. So Saturday night we got rained out. We lost 2 rounds of games. But it didn't hurt our tournament because our bracket play pools were already done. The night games were more just additional games so they could get their 4-game guarantee in. But since we got rain and that, we just weren't able to get those in. So we moved into Sunday, and Sunday was a great day. We crowned, we crowned 8 champions throughout the day. Our 10U rec champions were the Lennox Orioles from Lennox, and our runner-ups were the T Huskies. Two really good teams. The Lennox Orioles coach would tell you that this was her team's best performance all year.
Well,
and so
they put it out at the right time.
They did.
Well done, Orioles.
And some of the fun games to watch were those little kid games, those 10U, because they're just playing. They don't really take in all of the extra stuff. 10UB, South Dakota Flash against the Sioux Falls Sparks, 13-12. It was a great game.
What a game.
You really didn't know who was going to score and how many they were going to score, but South Dakota Flash ended up being the champs for the 10UB, and Sioux Falls Sparks were the runner-up. 12U Rec, Roy's Sports Shop out of Watertown, were the champs there over the Gators. The Gators came in undefeated into that game, and Roy's Sports Shop just got them by 1 run.
And where are the Gators from?
The Gators are from here in Sioux Falls.
Okay, local team.
Yep, local team. So just another great championship game, 1 run, but Roy's Sports Shop comes away with the championship.
That's the way they're supposed to be.
Absolutely. In the 12UB division, the Fusion rookies over Sioux Falls Whiplash, so a rematch of the Friday night extra inning game.
Oh, yeah.
Fusion rookies got 1 big inning that kind of put them up by 5 runs, and that they kind of withheld that. So Fusion rookies were the 12 UB champs, and Sioux Falls Whiplash was the runner-up. But we'll see those two match up again.
I bet we will.
In several other tournaments.
Right, doesn't say state.
Yeah. 14U Rec, T Lightning was the champs over Dairy Queen. That came down to runner on third base to tie it up for Dairy Queen. Girl hits a grounder to second base and they throw her out and the game ends. So T Lightning escapes the tying run. So T won 13-12. But again, a great championship game, what you want to see.
Nice high scores, some good runs there.
You're right, yeah. 14UB, Extreme Sliders out of Watertown were the champs over the South Dakota Rush, which is a local team here. A good game there. I don't have a score for that one, but it was close throughout the game. 16U Vermilion Blast over Stemper Auto Body. Again, this Vermilion team came in and they were just a powerhouse all weekend long. Teams really couldn't put their bats down. Vermilion put up a lot of runs and really had a good team here for them. So Vermilion Blast champs, Stemper Auto Body out of Wentworth, Madison area, were the runner-ups. And then the 18U was Team Riot, local team here were the champs, and Pier Fast Pitch was the runner-up. A great game. I believe that game ended 3-2. And it was awesome. Both teams competed hard, came into the championship game really firing on all cylinders. So
sounds like a good defensive game.
It was. And Team Riot actually has, we did an interview with them after the tournament, and they have an interesting team dynamic because they have a lucky duck. That goes around with them into the dugout. And so you'll have to check out that interview with Team Riot because we learned more about how this duck has been a part of their team for several years. It's not something that's just started this year. And it didn't even start on the softball fields. It started in driver's ed. So check out
really gotta hear that story.
check out Softball 605 and check out that interview because you'll learn about this Team Riot and their duck because it's something they've used.
Those interviews up later on this evening. So
Absolutely.
You can see those.
So that's kind of the tournament in Sioux Falls here, and again, we were able to just keep everything updated because of Softball 605 and their ability to help us build this mobile app. And
what was the feedback from the participants?
You know, it was phenomenal. They really liked it. It was information at their hands, and they didn't have to come down all the time to check the bracket board. They were even able to compare the bracket board to the online system. So
keep you honest, huh?
Keep me honest. There was a couple errors on the brackets that were posted and not on the website, and so we were able to make sure that everything was correct. The website was actually more accurate than my brackets were. So
were you able to keep everybody up to date on the weather conditions through that app too?
Absolutely. Yep. And we use that, and we also used a website called Remind.com. And that is a free text message system, so parents can subscribe to it, and then we can just kick out a text message of, hey, weather's coming in, we've got to get off the field or whatever.
So it's worked like a push notification.
Yep. Awesome. So they got it just like a text message from an unknown number, but they would say Memorial Tournament is calling games off for tonight or whatever. So between the app and that text message system, we were able to keep everybody updated in what's happening at the fields.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You can recognize your sponsors through that. You know, it's another great way to do it through the Turning Program app, and also, you know, put up for people that are coming from out of town. And you had a great representation from around the state.
Absolutely.
A great way to find out where's a good place to go to eat. Who are the people that are supporting the tournament?
Oh, that's a neat feature.
So, you know, feed the hungry horde.
Yep. No, and you know what was funny was I did see a group, a family come back with Noodles and Company, and that was one of them that was on there. So I don't know if they got it from the app. I didn't go up and ask them because I didn't want it to be weird.
That's kind of a ways away, though.
Hey, did you get that from the app, or did you just go there? But they came back and they had noodles. So if they got it from the app, that's what it was there for. So. Tournaments, if you're interested in that, definitely reach out to Softball 605. They're willing to work with you and help you out, and I know we've even talked about sometimes it can be a fundraiser for teams.
It can be a fundraiser for your team.
And so
we'd be happy to share that information. They can just email me, Carol@softball605.com. It is, as you discovered, a great way to get the information in the hands of your participants. And also to keep you honest when it comes to the boards.
Absolutely. And it's honestly just a nice feature for a tournament that you know, for us, we've never had that before, and so just to add another feature to your tournament is good.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for the youth fast pitch. There were no youth slow pitch tournaments this weekend that I could find on the website. They did have the victory at the VET 8th Annual Men's Slow Pitch Tournament at the Veterans Complex in Webster this past weekend with Men's Division E, Rec 1 and 2, but I was not able to find the results because they didn't have the app.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, women's slow pitch. The Battling Against Breast Cancer Women's Slow Pitch Tournament was at Star of the West Softball Complex in Rapid City this past weekend. I did hear from Milo, he's the tournament director at King of the Hills, and he shared with me some of the teams, but we have results going up to the championship, but I don't know who won the championship, because you know how it is,
Right.
getting that last update in. So here's their lower division. They had 8 teams in there. They had the Winion Thrashers, who lost to Rainbow in opening round. I'm sorry, I'm not going to get the Lakota pronunciation correct here. Suya were defeated by the Run VS. Dakota Prairie Bank / Ports defeated the Deviants. You'll only find this in adult softball. Native Strong defeated the Hated Honeys. Going on then into the championship, it was Native Strong versus Run VS. But again, I don't have the final update. So one of those 2 teams were the champions in the lower division. In the upper division, the upper brackets, there were 6 teams. I got to make sure I pronounce this and articulate this correctly. The Dirty Pitches were defeated by the Eagles women in the opening round. Lost Cause lost to Riss Royals in the opening. Then the Eagles women defeated the Queen Bees in the second round, and Reloaded defeated the Riss Royals in the second round. It wound up going all the way down to the final was between Reloaded and Lost Cause. So we're not sure who won that, but that was the Battling Against Breast Cancer Women's Slow Pitch Tournament where they raised funds for breast cancer. So
Well, it sounds like they had a good turnout. There was a lot of teams in there. So
14
that's nice
teams.
to see.
It's really a nice turnout.
Yeah.
They also had the Mitchell Women's Slow Pitch Invitational was at Cadwell Park in Mitchell over the weekend. I haven't been able to find results from that, but I'll keep trying to get hold of them. It was open to all divisions, and they were also going to have that 35 and over division if there was enough interest. So I'll be curious to see if they were able to get that pulled together. Milo, when I heard from Milo at King of the Hills Softball in Rapid, he said that he's also started the Youth Fast Pitch Tournament out there, but it's not going to be active this year, but they'll have it up and running next year. So that's called the Queen of the Diamond. It'll be thequeenofthediamond.com. King of the Hills, of course, is pretty much the men's slow pitch side. And then they also have, they'll have the men's state tournament out there in Rapid City, and they are hosting the ASA Northern Territory Men's E and Rec National Tournament in September in Rapid City. So that'll be fun to get on top of that one and see what happens out there.
Absolutely.
As far as the 14 and 16-inch slow pitch, co-ed slow pitch, and adult fast pitch, those tournaments really start in July. So that kind of wraps up what we had for tournaments this past weekend.
Sure.
You had a tournament that you went to, though, out of state.
You know what? We did have a tournament that we went to out of state. It was in Plymouth, Minnesota. And Sioux Falls Diamonds Ice, Sioux Falls Diamonds Elite, and Sioux Falls Steel were all there.
Okay.
And in the 14U division, Diamond Steel came out as the runner-up.
Good for them.
They actually beat Elite to move on in the play on Sunday. So it was a good tournament with great competition.
Great.
So congratulations to them.
Yeah.
You guys just have the semifinal blues, huh?
We do always. It's like always a bridesmaid, never a bride kind of a thing. We've come out third in most of our tournaments, but that's okay.
You haven't peaked yet.
Right, I was going to say, the important ones are coming up.
It's way too early to worry about.
We had a great experience, just to take a minute for a side note here, but remember that gal that we talked about from Mizzou that was on ESPN and she took that pitch off her face?
Yes.
We have an assistant coach for Diamonds Elite named Ryan Sokup that is going to be a grad assistant next year, and he's worked with that team for the last 4 years. And his roommate dates that gal.
Oh, wow.
Her name is
It is a small world.
Tori Finucane, and she happened to be in Wayzata this weekend while we were playing, so she came to our game, watched our last game. Thank goodness it wasn't the one against Steel, but she came to the game and talked to the girls after the game, and just talked about the things that you need to do to play hard, work hard, be successful in college if that's your goal. And then of course the girls were curious about how she healed up because she's a beautiful young gal, and she did break her bone here into many pieces, but no surgery, anything was needed.
Oh, wow.
She just has like a bloodshot eye, is about all that is left.
Wow.
Of that injury. So she was very lucky, and she is now, as of Sunday, she was going to be wearing a face mask when she played.
Advocate for face masks
Yep,
now.
yep. She just said, I was lucky on one, and I don't want there to be a number 2. So that was kind of nice for the girls to hear that as well.
Yes.
Right,
Oh, what
absolutely.
a blessing, though, because we were concerned about eye damage.
Yep.
All kinds of things.
I think she understands that she got kind of lucky.
Wow.
So,
That's
yeah, but that was
amazing.
kind of a neat experience. Really, really nice gal. So took a couple hours out of her day to come out and impart some words of wisdom.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it was neat.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up the tournaments. You have a segment coming up here.
Yeah.
With a special guest.
Yep. So make sure to check back Softball 605. When you come back, when we come back, we will have an umpire-in-chief who is in charge of our East Side League, and we'll visit with her about umpires and really the etiquette on the field and what to expect, or how do you appropriately approach an umpire. So check back Softball 605 here, and we'll be back here shortly with Beth Knowles.
Let's hear from some of our sponsors.
Getting recruited by college coaches is more difficult every year. There are thousands of other athletes competing for your position. MyPlayerPage.com is the best place for athletes to showcase their personal and player information. Check us out today at MyPlayerPage.com. Any sport, any athlete, any state, any city, champions all.
Welcome back, Softball 605 fans. I'm here with Beth Knowles of the UIC over at Frank Olson Park. Beth, how's the year going with umpires in the park over there?
Oh, it's going really good. We have a lot of new umpires. They're learning really fast, and they're willing to listen to me and the other head umpire working with them, and just getting through the year, loving their game, and it's making it fun for us.
It's awesome to have two UICs over there, you and Rick Graff, partnering together this year to really help start that park up on its right feet this year with so many new umpires. I mean, I don't really think you have anybody really above 3 years of experience. So you've got a lot of young umpires that are pretty raw.
Yeah.
But what are you seeing from them each week when they come out to the Diamonds?
What they've advanced on from the week before, just things we've worked with them to, from mechanics to just knowledge of the game, them just knowing, hey, I did this last week, I know I can do it this week. So they learn very quickly and willing to listen and work on what we've talked to them about it, and so that helps a lot.
Absolutely.
Helps with coaches too.
Right. No, absolutely. What? Speaking of coaches, what would you say? Give coaches some advice on how to approach an umpire, how to come out and ask a question to an umpire in a manner that's respectful, but also not demeaning to that umpire, because a lot of them are first, second, maybe third-year umpires, and the tone can kind of set them back, and they don't think straight because they're in the heat of the moment. So what would be your advice to coaches of how to do this correctly, or what would be the protocol for that?
Well, what we run into a little bit was go to the umpire that makes the call, first of all. Don't go to the other umpire, even if it's not the plate umpire, because it doesn't matter who made the call, you go to that person. We've had to run into that quite a bit. And if you're coming out to talk to them, come out with a level head. Come out talking to them just like we're talking right now, because if you come out hot, come out screaming at them, they aren't going to listen to you.
Right.
And come out aggressively at them, they're gonna walk away from you, and they're not gonna listen. Or they're
And a lot of them are still trying to learn the rules, and so you come out screaming and hot-headed at them, their mind is already frailed because they're trying to figure out what was that rule or how should I state this. And so yeah, I think you're spot on. You know, if you come out talking like this, they can at least now start to process that in their brain of okay, this is what happened, this is why I ruled it this way, compared to just come screaming at them. It's fight or flight, you know, it's that whole when the heat of the moment happens, don't come at me type of deal.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. What are some things that you hope to have accomplished by the end of the season that can really propel these young umpires into maybe a career in umpiring, or just the future for them?
Just getting them to the point where they feel completely comfortable doing any age division. With a lot of young umpires, 13 and 14-year-olds, that they don't want to do the 14s because that's their age. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping by the end of the year, maybe I can get them into some 14 rec games and just let them do a base. That's how I learned, was just getting thrown into a higher division with a veteran umpire.
Right.
With enough older umpires and experience that they can go on to a bases with an umpire and be fine if they're willing to do it. That way they know that they can do it, and the level of ball helps because it's a better game than the younger divisions. There's more activity for them to do instead of just standing there.
Absolutely.
A lot more hits and stuff, so.
They see it, yeah. I think about our young umpires and kind of what the future looks like for us and for our league, but also our sport of softball. We're no different than all those other sports. Basketball, volleyball, football, wrestling. We're all struggling for officials.
Yeah.
The older officials are hitting their retirement age, and the younger officials are not there right now. And what would be your suggestion to young adults or young athletes that love the game but aren't quite sure if umpiring is for them? What would be your advice to them?
What I would suggest is just coming out one night. Coming out, work one game, or watch it, talk with us. Just come out and work one game, and you'll know right away.
Right.
If it's what you want to do or not. I've had umpires that come out for one night and never show up again because they just don't like it.
Oh.
Some umpires it clicks right away, and that's where the training we do at the beginning of the year in April helps a lot, because all these new umpires, they hear all of the veteran umpires talking about where they've been, where they're going, where they can get to. If they really get into this umpiring, you can go to highest levels in all different softball, from 8 and unders all the way up through college and through the World Cup.
Right.
And so if you put your whole thought into it, you know that you can get there.
And this weekend you have a trip. Is it this weekend that you go, or is
I go
it
next weekend?
Next weekend. Let's talk about your trip a little bit to Oklahoma, and how does that happen, and what are you hoping to get from when you go down there?
Well, how that happens is Steve Riswald, who is our state UIC for the state of South Dakota and the region, Regional 11, which is the surrounding states of us. He gets to choose 2 or 3 umpires every year to go down to Oklahoma City for qualifiers in the Hall of Fame Stadium, which is where the College World Series is played. It's where our golds are usually played. And so he offered it to me to go down to the 16s and 18 golds, or A's, I should say. Which is pretty much any teams that are ready to go to golds. So you usually have to have 8-9 years experience at least, and have done many states tournaments and usually done few nationals to get there, because you go down to that tournament, you don't send a first, second year umpire down there.
Right.
So.
We'll talk about the experience once you're there, because you're not just there umpiring games and you get off the field and you get to go and hit the pool, or you're there and you're being critiqued hardcore, and you come off the field and there is somebody giving you an evaluation immediately. What is that like? Because that's different than like doing just a local tournament.
Yeah.
You're not getting evaluated like the level you will in 2 weeks when you go down to Oklahoma.
That's true. It's set up similarly like a nationals. Maybe it's been a nationals. I've heard that umpires at nationals have to be cleared to do nationals, meaning they get evaluated every game. There's a head umpire at every one of their games, and they have a notebook or iPad and they write things down. And so after the game, when we come back into the shelter, we will sit down with our head umpire, and he will go through a list of things. And if you see something, mechanics-wise, right then and there, they work with us.
That's awesome.
Working on it. I know a few years ago when I was down there, I had Christina drum, and right in the middle of this room, she set up a plate. And we worked on plate stuff, because the umpires down there, they were close, but they weren't spot on.
Yeah.
So the national staff members for ASA is very good about just being very upfront and personal. They aren't going to intimidate you, but they will, if they know that you can take it, they're going to give you some criticism, which is all about what umpiring is.
Right.
At all different levels, critiquing, minor little critiques here and there makes the ball game smoother.
Absolutely. And what an awesome experience, you know, from being from South Dakota and getting that opportunity to go down there and get that, because, you know, I think sometimes as coaches we don't realize what the umpires really go through on a day-to-day basis when they're in a tournament setting, and especially at the higher levels, the nationals, you know, they're umpiring and they're doing their best, but you know, they're being critiqued just like as I am as a coach critiquing my team's playing ability, you know. So I think that's a good reminder to coaches that, you know, we are really working with these young umpires, you know, at a local level as well as at a national level, to really start to build that base where our umpires are doing the best they possibly can at the time they're out there.
Yeah.
So
it makes things interesting sometimes, because you never know. I mean, if you really know the head umpire, I mean, they know you can take it. It's gonna be just like a coach getting on a player.
Right.
It's gonna be very intense, but then they follow it up with positive, because that's the way coaches run too. They might critique you hard on something, but they're gonna come back with positive. You did this really good though. So that's where a lot of the young umpires got to realize, is that even if I'm critiquing them, at the end of our conversation, I always followed up with something they did great, because then you've got the positive and the negative equals each other out.
Right, right. You're trying to sandwich all that together to make that for them,
yeah,
where they at least still have confidence in what they're doing. Well, Beth, thanks for joining us today. We hope to have you on later in the year, and we'll talk about, you know, what's happening in softball and where, you know, follow up with your Oklahoma trip and how that was. But young umpires, if you're out there and you're interested but you're not signed up this year, definitely check out the parks. You can go out to Dunham, or you can go out to Frank Olson. Beth and Rick are out at Frank, and Greg Morgan's out at Dunham, and check in with them. Just spend a night with them, walk around to the fields with them, see what this is really about, because we do need new umpires and we need some young blood in our pool so that we can continue to grow a really good base of softball here in Sioux Falls and in South Dakota. So stay tuned for Softball 605. We'll be right back with the wrap-up of this week on the Diamond.
You've worked hard all year. I need you to bring it, dig down deep today, because today, everybody plays.
Everybody plays.
Everybody plays.
Everybody plays.
Play. When we first learned to work together, it was through play. We learned social skills, give and take, freedom and teamwork through play. There's no age limit on play, no skill level required. Play It Again Sports knows play. We buy and sell new and quality used sports and fitness equipment for less, so everybody can play.
Come on, let's play.
You bet I play.
Now it's time to play.
Play It Again Sports.
Play It Again Sports.
Play It Again Sports.
The official sponsor of
All those that play.
Welcome back, Softball 605. We're now just going to do a brief update on future tournaments coming up here in the next week, as well as an update of really a friend of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so, Carol, you want to start us off a little bit?
Well, sure. Let's just do quickly. The Youth Fast Pitch upcoming tournaments this weekend will be the 7th Annual Brookings Girls Fast Pitch Invitational at South Complex in Brookings. That'll be Saturday and Sunday. They have U8 through U18, 3-game guarantee, and there's no gate fee. So if you want to get out and watch some great girls fast pitch, get on out to Brookings to the Southbrook Complex this weekend.
Absolutely. The Lorraine Memorial Invitational at Cadwell Park in Mitchell, another great tournament. A lot of our Sioux Falls teams or the area teams will head up to Mitchell. Mitchell pulls in a lot of teams from really the farther west teams that we usually don't see that come down here. So a great tournament. So if you're up in the Mitchell area this weekend, they have U8 through U18, 4-game guarantee, pool play on Saturday, and then a single elimination on Sunday.
And that's another nice park they have there.
Beautiful complex.
There is no youth slow pitch this weekend, but there is some men's slow pitch going on. Sandy, do you want to take that?
Sure. It looks like we have the Coors Light all-nighter men's and women's slow pitch at the Star of the West in Rapid City, and that looks like that's going to be Friday and Saturday of this weekend.
They may have some room for more teams. I'm not sure.
Okay. They can contact Mike Miles at 605-415-2687 to see if there's any more room. So give him a call if you are a last-minute planner. Also, the 5th annual Warner Men's Slow Pitch will be held this weekend. They're going to start potentially on Friday night and go through Sunday. That's at Warner Municipal Field in Warner, South Dakota, with Rec 1 and Rec 2 teams, limited to the first 8 teams. There's nice payouts. It is double elimination and free on-site camping. The draws will be held June 11th, so you still may be able to get into this one. So call Jason Young at 605-216-2856 if you are interested in this tournament. And the last one on the list here is Doc Softball Invitational Tournament at Preble Park in Millbank, South Dakota, open to men's D, E, and Rec. The deadline to register is June 10th.
That's tomorrow.
That is tomorrow. All right, my half time
So,
flies.
see, when you're playing adult slow pitch, you're allowed to register later.
Right.
You don't have to plan out the whole season.
Right, because you got to line up a lot of things
That's
with the
right.
kids, and yeah. The payouts at that tournament are based on 12 teams. If you're interested in that, please contact Shannon Berg at 605-880-5322.
Oh, that's it. Oh, and that Coors Light all-nighter that you mentioned out at Star of the West is also women's slow pitch. So
Okay.
that'll be for both men and women. And then that's it for upcoming tournaments. By the way, that was a great segment with Beth.
Yeah, you know, it was interesting to hear how you really can, you know, partner with an umpire and not be against them, you know.
It takes everybody to make the game come on.
It does, absolutely.
Except the fans.
right, absolutely.
You know, before we close up, I want to ask for your well wishes and prayers, and if you're so inclined, a good friend of ours who has been calling our hockey games and does a fantastic job, Dakota Case from here in Sioux Falls, is on a heart transplant list. He had a turn for the worst last weekend, wound up with what they think is pneumonia. He is down at the Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha right now, waiting on, first it was going to be an aortic valve replacement. Now they've also added a pulmonary valve replacement, and he's struggling. We've set up a GoFundMe campaign. It's just gofundme.com/Dakota Case. Dakota's only 24 years old, so he doesn't have a whole lot of disability history to be able to have funds coming in to help him keep his apartment and retain his independence when he's done, once he gets his new heart. And I can't believe somebody with a heart as big as he has needs a new heart. But your thoughts and prayers would be greatly appreciated. We have reached the first goal. Thank you so much to all those sponsors out there. The first $10,000 goal we reached last night.
That's awesome.
I've been talking with Dakota's dad and mom on almost a daily basis, sometimes a couple times a day. It's a roller coaster ride, and as a parent, I can't imagine going through what they're going through. And as a friend of Dakota's, it breaks my heart, but I know he's working hard, fighting hard down there. So if you're so inclined, please say a prayer for Dakota. If you want to go to the GoFundMe.com campaign and contribute, the family would greatly appreciate it. His mom and dad run the Case School of Music here in Sioux Falls, so they're also independent business owners, and their big camps all started this week, so they're down there with Dakota. They finally left the hospital for the first time in a week yesterday for a few minutes. They can use all the support that we can all give them. So,
absolutely.
He's a great sports fan. Hockey's his game, but he loves all sports. So
yeah.
We wish him well and his family.
Well, thank you, Softball 605, for tuning in on this week's On the Diamond. Check back next week for updates from tournaments and news from around the state on Softball 605. I'm Travis Slate.
I'm Carol McKee.
I'm Sandy Delker-Holbert.
And you are Softball 605.
Bargain Bites has a huge supply of refurbished electronics. They're a Microsoft authorized refurbisher. Just look at this. Computers as low as $100 and a wide variety of electronics, all so affordable. Look at these deals. A Dell 4-core laptop, fully tested, only $200. A MacBook, fully tested and ready to go, only $200. Subscribe to the Bargain Bites YouTube channel and get all sorts of great tips from super technician Brendan. Bargain Bites, just east of the airport off Benson Road. Visit them today online at bargainbites.net.